We're good. All right, we're going to call this select board meeting to order at 4:55 p.m. We're going to the executive session for one RMSA
405-6-A.
Yep. We got it. So I make an a motion that we exit executive session at 5:37 p.m.
Second.
All in favor? And we will postpone the rest of the meeting until 6 p.m. when we'll resume. So we're going to call this, resume this meeting at 6 p.m. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, just so you know, if you're curious about executive session, that was just so that we could interview a potential candidate for a code enforcement officer.
Oh, cool. All right, so you guys had a chance to read these minutes,
Yes.
correct? Everybody good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Make a motion that we accept the February 11th, 2025 Select Board Meeting minutes as written. Second. All in favor? Oh, that's right, you weren't here. I forgot about that.
Sorry.
We missed you.
I've been trying to stay on top of things.
Sir. All right, warrant number 36, expenses $77,975.21, checks $15,884, $15,897, receipts $55,542.13, receipts $11.50 through $15.96. Percent of 2023 real estate taxes collected year to date is 97.2, and percent of 2024 real estate taxes collected year to date is 83.8. Does anyone have anything for open session? Awesome.
You'd still be awesome if you needed to bring something.
That's right. We love everybody. All right, Mr. Coombe, how's things going with the planning board?
The meeting with AvCog had to get rescheduled to the 18th of March due to sickness that happened for a member of AvCog who was going to come and speak with us. We have an opportunity to get some DEP training through AvCog sometime in March. We're going to follow through with that and see if we can get a better date locked down, see if we can get a little help there. And Deputy Clerk has reached out to Scott Mills, speaking of CEOs, to see if he can help us out. He's a CEO of a few towns around us. See if he can help out in the interim until somebody's hired as a CEO. That'll take a lot of pressure off myself. We have reached out to him for a few times, so I don't know if he's going to bill us for his time to take a look at a few of the building notifications we have in, but that's something that might be coming down the pike. I want to bring to your attention. And other than that, nothing new.
All right, I apologize. I meant to be at that meeting, but turns out looks like I didn't need to be.
So it is rescheduled for the second Tuesday in March, which is the 18th. If you're interested in coming to that.
I'll try again. I had my notification go off first thing in the morning, and I canceled it, and then that was it. It was like 6:30. I was like, ah. But I didn't miss anything, so. All right. Kristen?
Okay, well, it's been, I don't know, a month or so since I've been here last, I guess. We had a board meeting last night, and there's been a lot in the news about what's been going on as it's been relating to Mount Valley Middle School and getting all 4 of those grades squared away into different areas. They are all into in-person learning at this point. The fire marshal, this is a more recent headline the Sun Journal put out, but the fire marshal for Rumford has been inside of the 7th and 8th grade space at the high school at Mount Valley, just to review. It's been really cramped in there. So over the vacation week, some changes were made to try and spread things out a little bit and utilize some different areas. So that had been a topic of conversation for a few meetings. So he should be meeting with the administration here sometime soon with the final changes that were made. And I know you guys probably don't follow what's going on up at Mountain Valley, but it's been what's been going on here lately. So also last night we had part 2 of the superintendent's annual evaluation. That part included goal writing and involvement of an improvement plan. Goals and the improvement plan have not yet been fully finalized. One of the things that was difficult with this last year is we had a special ed director who had retired at the end of the school year last year. So Superintendent Alden has been doing dual roles in covering that position as well as her superintendency. Her background is in special education, but it was a lot of work, and so one of the requests after having a lot of public comment feedback from families is that we really need somebody in that position. So we are now going through the interview process for that. I believe it's just being posted now. So for the upcoming school year, there will be somebody dedicated to special education. Let's see. Tomorrow we have 3 committee meetings, finance, of which I am on, and then there's a policy committee meeting and a building, grounds, and transportation committee meeting. Those are going to be at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock up at central office. Again, that is located in the Mount Valley High School. Those meetings are always open to the public as well, even though you have to ring a doorbell and be let in. They're always open to the public. So if anybody ever has any interest in that, please let me know and I'll keep you apprised of where they are. So one of the things we'll be talking about tomorrow, actually it's going to span all 3 of those meetings probably, is something that has been new to the last 2 meetings, and that was a conversation about having a facilities and a capital improvement plan so that we can really track what has been going on and needs to be going on with upcoming repairs, maintenance, the big things that you have to plan for with a capital improvement plan, and then the annual things that you just need to be budgeting for. So that will be the biggest topic of conversation tomorrow. And then budget meetings are officially starting off on March 10th, and the next few school board meetings will be at 6 o'clock, not 6:30, so that we can allow for ample time to be looking at all of those line by line items of money being spent. Let's see. On March 13th, the school board will be having a tour of the new school, Mount Valley Community School, just to see what's been taking place and where they're at in the process. And again, that is what we had all voted on, actually in 2 referendums, one in June and one in November, I think 2 years ago, because the first vote wasn't done correctly in one of the towns, not ours. So that is being paid for by the revolving door grant through the Maine Department of Education. But that is a school from K through 8th grade, and actually it's pre-K through 8th grade. And so it's replacing the Rumford Elementary School, Morobe, which is Mexico Elementary School, and the Mount Valley Middle School. So Mount Valley Middle School will be completely torn down once they're further into this process, so that part of the new building can be built where that school is. And then at this point, Morobe, which is Mexico Elementary School, is supposedly being taken over by the town of Mexico. And I'm not quite sure what's happening with Rumford Elementary. And last, You can always watch the meetings on the YouTube channel for RSU 10 on the district website, or you can email me at kchapman@rsu10.org. Any questions? Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you very much. Alright, fire department did not send any report, but last report, all was good, all trucks were inspected, and they were holding steady at 15 volunteers. So, Mr. Corson, what do you have for us today?
All I have today is, I had an update on the grader, they're working on it, and I got the check on the warrant this time, so he can order parts and get that rolling. I'll be paying attention to the temperatures here, as soon as the temperatures seem like they're gonna stay warm, I'll be putting posters out, and, I'll be trying to, get some patch out in some holes that come up on the roads now, and, I'll see if I can get out and get them patched up quickly as I can. That's the time of year that's gonna start happening.
Yeah.
That's about it right now.
So, talking earlier with the whole, Tom Standards thing for the roads, you obviously reached out and got information on paving, so you
Yes,
can.
yeah, we got some prices on that.
Yep, cool.
Yep.
So you want me to call a roads committee meeting now?
Yes, as soon as possible.
Okay.
I would like, so we got a budget committee meeting
The 7th,
the 7th, so it'd be nice to have it before then.
right, Diane, it's the 7th?
Cool. I just wanted to throw out my bi-monthly reminder that if you can be taking pictures on the projects you're working on, so we can kind of do a slideshow at the town meeting and show the town just what's gone into these roads over this past year. I think it'll go a long way for everyone's understanding of how that works and what we're dealing with under the surface to get things to a good place on the top.
Good.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you were frustrated because they were calling you what, the Dirt Road King or something. You know, but the reality of this is a lot of these roads shouldn't have been paved to begin with. So, at least not when they were. So, it's unfortunate, but
That's the way it is.
it's just the way it is. We're going back and fixing it. So everybody's just gonna have to be patient. And know that you can't fix them overnight.
Right.
All right, Brandon.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed you guys last meeting.
Oh, it's all right.
Running all over the roads here. So this is for last January's report. Highlights were I had a few stray and loose animal calls, one on Gammon Road and one on Main Street. One of them I was able to resolve on the phone, the other one I had to come out and get the animal and return it to the owner. I followed up on a neglect case that's going on Arthur Allen Road that's been continued investigation. And there was a couple of cruelty to animal responses that were called in on the Bonnie Road. No one was home, left some notes, but ended up working with the state and having a large number of surrenders that went down to Kennebunk out of there. So a total of 12 calls, 272 miles, 13 hours on calls.
Just so I know so we know where everything is at. Where are we at with Jonathan Levitt's dog in court and all of that?
So his last court appearance was supposed to be, you said Levitt, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the 13th, and that was a snow day. And
Oh yeah.
so it hasn't been, I actually spoke with the DA about it today.
Yep.
It hasn't been put back on the docket yet, and none of those cases from that day have been.
Okay.
But I'm supposed to be speaking with the assistant DA tomorrow. But I mean, there's that summons and several other summonses that are coming through, so.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's still pending. It's not. You know, is that for the potential euthanization of that dog, or is that
Nope.
something else?
Nope.
No, that's something.
No, that's just an at-large charge. Tomorrow, the discussion with the assistant at the DA's office will be to go make sure that there's a full understanding about the bite history with that dog, where it's bit 2 people and 2 dogs in the history, and just making sure that that's all very clear and taken into account when they are making an offer this next time around.
Perfect, thank you. Alright,
Can I ask a question?
absolutely.
What about the pack of 6 dogs
Yeah,
that are
we
roaming
just
around?
Red Room.
Yeah. So I've been in contact with the state pretty regularly about what's going on over there. I spent a lot of time at that location. When they were most recently posted online, all of them being at large. Excuse me. The next day I spoke with the state again to make sure that there's nothing else that I can be doing other than every time it happens, issue the summons and tell him to go get your dogs. Right now, he's lined up to be in court every month. He hasn't been in front of a judge yet for any of it, so there haven't been any fines or anything handed down yet due to snow and technical issue with the way I first wrote my summons. But that has been since reissued, so that's still, it's not like it went away. Since I'm being asked about it, it's been recently brought to my attention that there was another 13 or 14 dogs born up there on the 13th. And so the state was updated on that. Because of that, that puts him at numbers where he needs to be licensed as a breeder if he's going to be having that many dogs and selling them, having that many unfixed dogs on his property. So that definitely puts him into a different bracket with enforcement. As far as I know, the state was supposed to be there either Friday or early this week.
So they are gonna be on site? They-
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, yeah. And he's been up there with me before as well.
Yeah, I knew that he'd gone before.
The thing is with that, I mean, it's a state statute, you can't have him be at large. The only tool I have really is to keep on issuing those summonses, which basically will inconvenience him having to get to court. He doesn't have a license or anything. And, that's gonna keep on going in front of the DA's desk, so hopefully it escalates a little bit each time. And, but other than that, there's no real further escalation on it.
I just don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I don't want
Yeah,
people to
100%.
stop walking because
Yep.
of them.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and I've gone through great measures to try to help him keep those dogs contained. I've supplied him with plywood to board in the porches, I've supplied him with leads and anchors.
Wow.
It's just an ongoing thing.
So, a question about, there's a lot of farms that are around, and animals are gonna be born soon.
Yep.
And,
And if those dogs are approaching to do any damage to any of your livestock or property, you should shoot them dead. Make sure they die on your property. You don't want them to get off your property struggling or anything like that, because if you go and try to humanely dispatch them at that point, that's against the law. So you wanna make sure that if it happens,
But you have a right to take care of your life.
oh yeah, yeah.
thank you.
And if it's a kid, especially, 100%. Or deer, you see them hunting,
Running deer, yeah.
yeah.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Alright, forms, reports, and correspondence. Abatement sign due to a homestead exemption not being applied. I believe that was on Paul's minute bad on that, I believe. Change to cemetery plot pricing has been signed, and the engagement letter from Trafton, Matson, Billu, and Furnett has been signed. So that's that, no new business. Stewart's case did actually get finalized, the sentencing was on the 14th, I'm sure everybody is well aware of that. Another thing I wanted to discuss real quick, I mentioned it last meeting. What?
I'm not aware of it.
You're not aware of it?
No,
Really?
really, I didn't even ask Diane about it, or I haven't been
Oh,
on.
apologize.
I haven't
So
been-
it went as planned, as the DA said it would. I believe they both pled guilty to Class D misdemeanors. Full restitution, I believe they have about 30 days to pay the court, and then the court basically issues us a check, is how I understand it to go.
Okay.
And they have a year, they're not allowed to come to any meetings, etc. They can still come to vote and something else.
You
I
can
thought.
use the sand pit.
Use the
and-
sand pit.
And I thought it was
Registering
payment in
vehicles.
1 week is what I had heard.
It was
So
what?
The $15,000 restitution payment was due in 1 week.
1 week.
Oh, okay.
Not 30 days.
I apologize, I misunderstood that. I thought they had 30 days.
So it was for 15,000. I heard 5,000. I heard 6,000.
15.
15.
5 to 10, right?
Total
It was
is
5
Total
and 10.
between the two of them.
Okay.
They had separate amounts, but it equates to just about 15,000. Yep. So does that answer all the questions for those who didn't know?
The engagement letter for Trafton and the lawyers,
Yep.
is that in regard to this case, or is that?
No. So we just wanted to get lawyers that we could work with, especially coming up with a lot of tax properties, which I thought we had more than that, but when you threaten people to sell their property, they pay up all this stuff. So we're just like possibly looking into what we can do with the Newton property, and some of the other ones. Some of these have been on the books since the 80s. And so that was the main reason, just having somebody that we can work with and feel like we were being represented well. So, yep.
And not charge you $500 for a phone call.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have, when we were dealing with personnel issues in here with the Stewart's case, $500 is gone in a heartbeat. So, yeah. So that's all that was. That wasn't in regards to the Stewart's case at all. So yeah, any other questions? Alrighty. So speaking of tax acquired properties, I mentioned it last meeting. So I asked Diane to put together a list of what's tax acquired and what's tax owned, what's the town just owns outright, and the total number that if we sold, there's actually only 4 that are tax acquired, and if we sold them all for what we're due, it would bring in $30,043.82. And then if the new owners actually paid taxes based on 2024 taxes, that would generate a revenue of $2156.39 a year on those 4 properties. And then we also own 5.
That's $2,156.
Yeah, no, that's not 21,000. Sorry. So yeah, it's $2,100 roughly. And then we own 5 other properties. One that we're gonna all probably try to get out and look at. It's 114 acres out on Reading Road to see what type of timber's on it and potential gravel. But those if sold for taxable value would be $196,000. Mostly with that 114 acres, but and that would, so if we sold everything for it was either tax valued at or tax acquired at, it would be $226,163.82, and that would generate a yearly revenue of $4,704. So that's where that stands. We'll probably start looking into what we can do with at least the tax acquired and maybe a couple of these ones that we own. 2 or 3 of these are kind of like in the middle of a swamp, like the one on Valley Road. That one is tax acquired, but it's basically in a little lab. So it's,
Yeah, on the other side of our property.
yeah. So, I don't know, you wanna buy it?
I don't think so. Our property goes right abuts Little Lab.
Okay, well you can have it for $4,087.62.
Thank you, no. The canoe just
Apparently
sits on
we've-
the edge of Little Lab and nobody fusses when we take the
Right.
canoe out.
Apparently we've had it since 1989.
Oh, good for us.
Nobody wants anything in the middle of the swamp.
No.
No.
And then there's
Now, if
also
there were
one down.
cranberries growing there or something, there might be different.
Right, and then there's also one that's in the swamp on the meadows on the south side. So yeah. Anyways, so we'll look into what we can do with those. Maybe we can recoup some money. See how it goes. All right. Board of Appeals still has one opening. Planning Board has an opening for an alternate, and still looking for members for a comprehensive plan committee to update the current comprehensive plan. And I know Brandon had turned in his budget, but there will be a meeting on March 7th, will be the first budget committee meeting, so everybody be working on your budgets. Right, Doug? Doug, work on your budget. And so yeah, I think that's it. Is there any other questions before we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna go into financial reviews. You guys are more than welcome to observe. There will be no questioning. So it's just our chance to get together and go over the financials for the month of January. So, any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. Get you right up. All right. So I make a motion that we adjourn the select board meeting at 7:57.
I second that motion.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.